And we're live, I think. All right, there we go. Let's get over a little bit here. Yeah, everything's a little bit different now.
Oh yeah, hey,
a little bit further away, but nice to see everyone.
Oh, it's over there.
Yes. So yeah, we finally got some. It's clearing up, so we might have some cherry blossoms eventually here.
Well, there's a fair number of cherry blossoms outside.
Yeah, it's getting there. I guess though, yeah, it does get delayed. This spring weather here is so unpredictable because sometimes you get cherry blossoms and then you get these torrential downpours and these heavy winds and they strip the trees. Yeah. So it's got to be hard. I mean, if you're thinking about coming here and planning on seeing the cherry blossoms, like give yourself at least 2 or 3 weeks because there's no way you can hit the right week. It shifts so significantly every season.
Or just come over and stay.
Yeah. So it's difficult. But but we're finally getting some of that better weather. It was almost freezing a couple days ago.
Yeah. It was like, 2 weekends ago was like wonderful. Then it's just kind of like winter again.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. So all the pollen is very confused now too. So people don't know how allergic they need to be.
But also it's confused. Is it a cold or is it seasonal allergies?
Yes.
Both simultaneously.
Right. Yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. So we had our second, I guess our third, technically.
Second
for me. Yeah, second. Oh, that's right, second 3-player. See, and I told you 3 players that we gotta have a
Camera.
Camera. Something? Yes, we got to have a camera. We've got to document this, but there's got to be a scenario, where there's objectives and stuff. Because when it's 3 people, it's like you wait for 2 people to fight, and then you just like pile on.
Yeah, you do.
just like social media. Yeah. You're like, oh, wait.
It does become very opportunistic in a 3-player game, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but you guys were good. I mean, it went a lot better than a previous 3-player game that we played many years ago. I think that's the one thing when it's not even and you're not kind of just like protecting yourself from all sides, when it's like, oh, those guys are involved, so I guess I'm gonna just playing. So the straight missions where it's just getting treasure off the board and just trying to defend your area, get as far into the
it's not even an area of protection or like a zone control. I don't know, I guess maybe it is a bit of a zone control because like you want to get those treasure tokens, right? And so like securing an area, but it's I think the way Frostgrave combat is very swingy with the D20, right? You can't really plan anything.
Yes, that's true.
So I wonder if like you can actually like control an area, like you can have a plan, like okay, I'm going to move these guys up and kind of surround this area, right? But like when you fail something like I had a simple like an 8 to heal myself, and I missed that, and I was like, okay, now I'm totally screwed. So some of those simple rolls with a D20 really turn out badly. I do appreciate how everything's like a unified single die roll over your number, right? Like a rollover number, like that makes it really fast and really kind of easy to intuit. It's real swingy, right? And like those combats can be like 21, right? You're just like 20, right? So and then just dead, right?
And I think they did a really good job of kind of doing the tiers of magic. Like stuff that's really powerful is really hard to get off. So you really have to consider, is this even worth like rolling for? Because it's a turn that I'm going to spend and nothing's going to happen. But if I do get it off, it could be a game winner. Changer, so
or if you just roll really badly on a first turn grenade,
right? Yeah.
Lose a spellcaster.
That's the swinginess too. Because I think I threw a grenade the first game and it did nothing. Like it missed everybody.
Well, like even that one you tossed like the second game, like my fault for being right within like visual range, but like it hit 3 people,
right?
2 kind of like regular soldiers who survived, and then the spellcaster, you just rolled gangbusters, and I'm like, and I'm down an apprentice for the rest of the game. It's brutal.
It's funny, but I like that they don't unlike Mordheim and stuff, they don't like completely kill you. You can get if you lose an apprentice, you get another apprentice. You can promote your apprentice to caster. Like you're not playing a game without a caster.
Well, you are playing one game without a caster, right? That game without a caster, right?
Unless you're insane, you're not going to start a game. But I don't have a wizard this round.
No, you can't. No. I was reading up on that. If your wizard is level 5 or lower, you just start over from scratch. They figured you haven't accumulated enough levels.
Right. For it.
I think you keep all your stuff, but it's like once you hit level 6, that's when you go, okay, you can promote the apprentice to the main wizard with these kind of effects, and then you got to hire.
Oh, that makes sense. Right? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's a great game. I think it's really really well designed.
I do think the next one, like you said, should be a scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
rather than just everyone keep trying to get the treasure.
Right, because that's the thing. It's enjoyable the way we're playing it now, but there's no narrative emerging. And I think with a scenario, there would be more narrative. Like we would see more about what our characters are doing and like their failed roles or their successes and things. It would make a little bit more of a story. But when we're just playing for treasure, it kind of
there's kind of like a story in the game sometimes, and you might be like that's the second like. We were doing a little bit like that's the second time I think I killed your warhound, right? Which is the being represented as a goat, Black Phillip, and that's what like Black Phillip II died again. It's going to be like so there is.
Yeah.
It's not a narrative. I don't know. There's nothing in the mechanics that make it a narrative game, but narrative can still like emerge from what happens, which is a bit kind of talking like a role playing game, right? Anyway.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's a great game. If you haven't tried it, either Stargrave or Frostgrave is definitely worth. And miniatures agnostic, so use your green army men. Yeah, whatever.
Green army men. I know people put out great paper miniatures.
Oh yeah. Yes. Oh, and something from last week too. So we were talking about the BattleTech Gothic. And
Battlefleet Gothic?
Battletech
Gothic.
We were talking about BattleTech Gothic. Sorry. BattleTech Gothic.
Okay.
We were talking about last week, and somebody chimed in the chat that was just lurking, and I checked the name, and I think it was an illustrator for BattleTech, an illustrator that works with Catalyst Labs. They're saying there is no Kickstarter, and they like once I mentioned a crowdfunder, it must be going to crowdfunding, right? They produced this video, but it must be going to, and no, he chimed in, and I if it's the same guy, then it is somebody that like works with Catalyst. So he would know, and I was terribly wrong. So yeah, when I did the video cut of it, I put that correction. Every time I said Kickstarter, I put a correction because that was a little misleading.
BattleTech Gothic.
Yeah, BattleTech Gothic, sir. Yeah, that's a little rough and a little close. They should have found out another way, to express that.
Yeah, because like Battlefleet Gothic.
Yes. And Andrew, hello, Andrew, in the chat.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Vero
Active.
and Matt and Clarion are in Age of Carolina. Nice. Yeah, good to see everybody. But yeah, I thought that was funny. If it is the same person, it's a BattleTech illustrator that's like, cool. You idiots are fucking out of your ass.
Welcome to the cast. That's what we do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just like that's what they've been doing. But of course, if they're just doing a one shot and they don't want to be forced to produce a lot of stuff for this, if they already have like a plan to, test the waters or just trying to, give you some variation. Yeah, of course they don't want to go all in multi-million dollars and it's like, okay, do we hire people to support this now?
Especially
or
given the
what
economy
do we do?
and what shipping and production stuff's going to be.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting thing that's going to be happening.
Interesting is the way to put it.
Yeah, and Matt was even sent me an article about Come On, and they're not even like reporting their financials. They're saying, oh, we're low on staff. Our accountants, we don't have enough accountants to actually report how badly we're doing.
We're low on staff to actually report how badly we're doing.
Yeah, and there was something, I don't know if they were. Oh yeah, they did some sort of. It reminded me a little bit of the kind of shenanigans like TSR was doing to kind of make money, but they did some sort of I forget what it was called, but in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange there was some like fundraising thing, probably because they had success with it, for crowdfunding, a way to buy shares. Like there was a way they weren't. It's not like a stock split or it's not like a buyback. There was some sort of thing where they were promised a certain, number, millions of whatever, for selling shares in this kind of odd program, and they never got the money. And then they went through that and I guess put out those shares and never got the money for it. And then there was something else that they just failed at. There was another financial deal that fell through for Come On, so they're in really bad shape. And now with all of their manufacturing going on in China, them getting things actually into other parts of the world is going to cost them dearly. Yeah. So yeah, between shipping costs and tariffs, they're going to be...
the age of the board game is over.
Yeah, at least the Ameritrash, that, like tons of plastic, for... tons of unnecessary plastic for your game.
I like the background behind us.
Oh, yeah.
There are tons of plastic.
Tons of
plastic.
Tons of plastic. Yes. It is a very Ameritrash background. But so that's going to be odd. And also, because CMON has CMON acquired the Swedish the setting for one of the original settings for Demons and Dragons, or Dragons and Demons. Trudvang.
Okay.
So they acquired that from Riot Minds. So I don't know if we're gonna ever see that again,
because they just immediately sell it.
Yeah. If they go out of business, they're just gonna sell off all the IP. And Soviet Gnome said someone was just telling me CMON was on the ropes. Yeah, hard to believe. Yeah, because they have like 10 outstanding projects, and probably not all of them are crowdfunding, but there's 2 that they're shipping, and then 10 more that are in some stage of production. So having that kind of stuff hanging out there, and I think that's what Fantasy Flight ran into, is that so many active jobs being produced at one time in China that any hiccup, and it just derailed whole.
Or also having to you don't have 10 times the staff, right? So having to split between all that stuff. I don't know.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see what happens with CMON. Hope they hang in there. That would be a shame, because they were a real big part of the giant crowdfunder, big box of plastic headed our way.
Big box of plastic.
And it was nice because Japan would get them so early. That was really great, but those days are long gone.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get started for this week. Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat.
Hello,
Thanks
chat.
for hanging in there. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the weekly, so we'll start a little sad. So a farewell to Paul Sawyer and WotC's DMCA debacle. They just can't stay out of their own way.
Can't.
And I'm curious of your opinion of Free5E. There's a Kickstarter for that, but
why is there a Kickstarter if it's free?
You'll see.
All right.
You will see. All
right.
And we talked about it after the cast last week, but the Alien RPG Evolved Edition. So we'll kind of go through what and why that is, and why it's hard to get excited about it, and why they might be doing it, and all the whys. All right. So let's start with some sad news. We talked about this at the end of last year because there was an incident where Paul collapsed at a convention, and so people were suspecting there were health problems, and it turned out to be true. So it was just announced by Warlord Games, which he was a co-founder of, that the legend of the wargaming community, Paul Sawyer, has passed away last week. So that was March 27th, and it was after a long battle with brain cancer. So Warlord Games put out an announcement. It is with great regret that we announce that the co-founder of Warlord Games, Paul Sawyer, passed away the evening of the 27th of March 2025 after a long battle with brain cancer. He was an enormous character and fought tooth and nail to the end, but always in good spirits. He was a true friend to us all. That he passed surrounded by the love of his family is a blessing. So after condolences to Paul's family, Paul was not a man that to be made a fuss of. He'd perhaps not even thank us for writing this short dedication. We believe it would be his wish that we carry on unabated. We shall strive to continue to shape Warlord Games upon the immensely strong foundations he put in place. And the nice part of this posting is then they opened it for comments at the bottom, and people just truly a sad day, and then just remembrances, the iconic battle report of Glazer's Farm in White Dwarf 222. So he worked for Games Workshop and also on a White Dwarf, and doing a lot of the things that people remember were the Tale of Four Gamers battle reports that were very iconic.
Yeah, I hadn't realized he'd worked in White Dwarf.
Yeah, and that was and people, and these remembrances are White Dwarf was at its best under Paul's watch, and we have so with John Stallard, he produced things like Black Powder and Bolt Action. I mean, those are going to be around forever. I think those people really like those systems. They're a great way to play historical gaming. So yeah, it's really really sad. Yeah, people said my heart sank when I read the news.
Well, Warlord Games put out that charity figure of him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's very Very sad, but it's good to see this, like that he will be remembered and his work will live on, and especially not because imagine if he would have passed still being an employee of Games Workshop. This would not be the situation.
Okay, one would. I don't know. I hope that would not be the case.
Yeah, right? I hope so. Yeah, I hope we would have a decent announcement. But I think everybody retires from that company before they're too long in the tooth. I think they feed off the young blood because I don't think any of the
no comment there
any of the big names have hung in there.
I mean, I think it kind of go okay. I don't know him personally. I don't know most of the stuff about him. But if people are doing this, then it kind of goes to show you, like, be the type of person that is going to be written about like this when you die, as opposed to people slamming you, right? Like, if that's why I was thinking along those lines when you brought up GW, like, okay, if he had continued to work for GW and if he had continued to be the same person, I would like to think that people would still be talking positively about him, right?
Right.
It's only when you act like a complete asshole that, like, people write that stuff after you're dead, right?
Yeah, but also the kind of regime change at Games Workshop. I mean, they're not gonna. I don't think just the same way that Wizards of the Coast is writing shit about Gary Gygax. I mean, it's like in their introductions to books. Why would you do that? And so I would suspect that Games Workshop
circles back to my don't be the type of person that people feel the need to write shit about. Huh?
Yeah, but I mean, you can dig up something bad to say about anybody.
Can you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there is no purity test that anyone will survive completely. Nobody. I mean,
I'm
Mother
sure.
Teresa. I mean, what list would you like to start with? The people that were just, sainted, but actually, complete scumbags.
That's the Catholic Church. Okay, right. No, yes. I don't. Okay, I don't disagree, but I think, and kind of getting back off topic here, right? Like, I am sure that, like, you could be like, okay, this is the worst thing the person did, and okay, it's probably like minuscule, right? Anyway.
But yeah, the scale of people's flaws is changed dramatically. But let's move on to something even more depressing with the mistakes made in gaming. So Wizards of the Coast said, we didn't mean to send a DMCA takedown notice, but they did anyhow. So there was a Baldur's Gate 3 esque mod for Stardew Valley. So it was called Baldur's Village.
Okay.
And the creators of this, so it's a fan project, and the creators of this, so you're basically taking all the characters of Baldur's Gate and making them dateable and farmable. You can farm with them and marry them, whatever, in Stardew Valley.
All right.
So they approached the creator approached Sven Vinke, the head of Larian Games, and ask, is it okay if we do this? This is just a fan thing. We're not selling this. And he said, you have my permission. I don't see anything.
So basically,
wrong. He didn't have a problem with it.
To my understanding, the fan used names and likenesses from Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And
so not like with the serial numbers filed off.
Just the names and the pixel art likenesses.
Yep.
And so WotC sent them a digital takedown notice, and because it was hosted on Nexus Mod, so easy to find. So the head of Larian said that there are good ways of dealing with this. You didn't have to do that. WotC issued an apology. You can once again now download Baldur's Village.
Okay.
And they issued a statement. The Baldur's Village DMCA takedown was issued mistakenly. We are sorry about that. We are in the process of fixing that. So fans of the Stardew community can continue to enjoy this great mod.
Send mistakenly. What'd you do? Like, did your finger slip on the DCMA takedown keyboard button?
Yeah, people were trying to figure out. They were thinking maybe they use like a third party like IP watchdog that just automatically. It's just there's all kinds of people making money off of this stuff. So just because that stuff runs a little rampant in some communities, especially on YouTube. And they're issued mistakenly, maybe. But this reminded people of the 2024 attack on the YouTuber that showed the player's handbook unacceptably early and was having his
person have Pinkerton sent to them too?
Yeah, probably. Well, it wasn't magic, so maybe not. Yeah, but So this is just something they do, and they just don't care how bad this makes them look. That's the funny part about it. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll apologize if we have to. So Nexus, the Nexus mods and the endorsement, so this is an incredibly creative crossover for Stardew Valley that the community loves. It was nothing. Of course, they killed him. You're right. Yeah, right. It was nothing less than what we expected. So it was refreshing to see that the CEO of Larian was supportive.
Right.
So and these things don't matter much to WotC. So they're saying, the creator said, hopefully this was an oversight, and it's great that it's back up. But hunting down, violating content might be something that they don't even do in house. So
probably not. Yeah. Well, then I guess saying, "Oh, it was a mistake."
Right. But
that's the best they're going to say, right?
Right. Yeah. But if you do have a problem with WotC and 5e, why not try Free5E? So it's D&D for everybody.
Why would I do that?
Yep. There we go. Okay. So
all right.
So I'm curious about this. So Free5E is the first full open source 5e compatible system designed for accessibility, inclusion, and global play. So Wormworks Publishing is officially launching a Kickstarter for Free5E. So it went live on March 25th. It's a full variant of 5e. So fully free, open sourced, without corporate licensing or financial barriers. So it's not a light version of D&D. It's a complete open alternative designed with accessibility and community at its core. So this ambitious project was done to take and basically was inspired by the OGL debacle, and the announcement of this project was actually on the 2-year anniversary of that. So they're going to release 3 core books: the Player's Guide, a GM Handbook, and the Free Range Monsters. Completely free to download and play. These books are packed with all the character creation tools, game master guidance, diverse bestiary, and plenty of options for creating rich, immersive experiences for both players and GMs. They're going to keep it open source, licensed under the Creative Commons attribution, which I think the 5e SRD either is or has already gone under. And so that means that anyone, so amateur creators, established publishers, teachers, therapists, friendly local game stores, churches, community groups, conventions, anyone can modify it, adapt it, share and publish it, and even sell Free5e content without restrictions. So they're trying to provide unprecedented freedom to innovate, translate, and build upon the system. So they're trying to, of course, foster creative ownership. So they'll let you use the rules, the human-made art from the books, and other tools as a foundation for your own project, which you're free to sell. And for accessibility, they're going to make things available in dyslexia-friendly PDFs, digital braille, EPUB, Markdown, and other formats, and also at-cost print-on-demand options are available if you want a hardcover book or physical books. You'll and also in the rules. So what they're trying to do with the 5e rules is kind of make them as completely inclusive as possible. So build characters with disabilities using 3 different systems for inclusion, greater representation across the table. It'll weave diversity and inclusion throughout the system as part of the goal to invite everyone to play. And as part of the open licensing, that it will allow it for easy translation. So any language, dialect, or cultural context. Because original 5e has a limited non-English. It has very limited non-English editions. There's just very specific languages or markets that they even go for. So they launched the Kickstarter and basically set these stretch goal levels. So they are funding the production of the books, like the completing. And I think they said that I forget they have produced the books to a certain level, but to finish things off. So for the Player's Guide, it's 14,000. To get the GM's Guide, they want to get to 31, and then 52 will get you. Then all 3 will be produced, but then they'll be out there in the wild. And what they're going to do to kind of maybe a public television crowdfunder kind of thing is to give you something for you're supporting this project, and it is going to be a free project, so you're not going to have to pay for it once it's done. but they'll do printable game tools, engraved GM screens, metal art prints, and other kind of promotional or like signs that you've promoted this project as a way to you'll get something in return for your support. So
it's kind of like the PBS pledge drive.
Yeah, it is. A coffee mug and a tote bag. Yes,
which I don't have no problem with that, right? Okay.
And so so they see this as a massive step for the TTRPG community. It was announced on the second anniversary of the OGL debacle. What they really want to do is welcome new players, provide representation for marginalized communities, ensure the benefits of TTRPGs remain accessible to all, regardless of background or ability, forever. So right now you can download a draft of the manuscripts for free on drive-thru. I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, so I think for the next month, the crowdfunder will be going on, and they're really trying to get grassroots feedback and improve this initial draft so that they can release this and truly make 5e free and open for everyone everywhere. So will they succeed, and why did they choose this system?
Well, that was the whole thing I was thinking while you were reading through it, right? Like, okay, the goals you have set seem pretty, I don't mean monetary, but like the goals you have set seem pretty noble, right? And seem, I would argue, important, right? Okay, like, yes, I agree with what you're trying to do here. My knee-jerk reaction was, why 5e? Why 5e? And then my second knee-jerk, because you got two, was, like it or not, 5e is still, or Dungeons & Dragons is still the world's most noticeable role-playing game, right? Like, that's where people, like we've talked any number of times about what other game has, like, blockbuster movie about it, right? So, again, it's just, why this game? Well, I know why this game, right? I don't know if I want to have time to do it. I would want to read through the manuscript to see if I feel they actually achieve all those goals. Right?
Yeah, it is quite an ask to be able to produce something that nobody will feel. Especially if they're not going to, get away from Eurocentric fantasy. It's still got.
Well, nowhere in here do they talk anything about setting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So it is just the
It might might just be the rules. Right?
It is. Yeah, it is interesting if they are going to come up. Is that enough of a system though that they want any cultural context to be able to shift this too? So if you don't have knights and dragons and wizards in your culture, but you have shaman and spirit guides and if you can,
and I hope whatever culture you come from actually has those things instead of you just like writing about someone else's culture. But anyway, okay, sorry.
No, but would this truly be adaptable? And them actually talking about like different systems of inclusion to build in.
That's mostly what I want to read.
Yeah, so the disabilities don't. I don't know. It's a lot because.
Like it's noble goals, right? Like definitely something we should be like aiming for. I think I have it as a PDF, but I haven't actually read like the Evil Hat Fate Accessibility Toolkit, which deals with stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
And that's been won all kinds of awards or held up as like ways to add inclusion or have inclusion in games. And I should probably read them and compare them, right? Because I want to see whether or not this free 5e kind of meets its own goals, right? But what we were talking about, like, it can't be completely generic, right?
Right.
Because, like, someone had a really good example. Like, a completely generic role-playing game would be like, I attack with my weapon against the monster, right? Like, classes. I mean, it's because I think this is a class and level-based system, right? Any classes you include, fighter, or it could be the original, right? Like, fighter, thief, mage. As soon as you go something like knight, right? Or the very old samurai, ninja, right? As soon as you start going that way, you are, rules say something about the setting. Right? So I'm thinking along those lines too about whether or not it's completely kind of a game for all cultures.
Yeah, so because they're doing their own monster manual, so they are going to
probably because stuff like Beholders and all that other Githyanki and Illithids or whatever are not public domain.
Right. But that is going to also, because those come from myths and legend and folktale. Those creatures come from other cultures, so they are going to do some sort of light appropriation, whether they, depending on how genericized it
but
is.
I think D&D has become its own genre, right? And the monsters in D&D, I think, have become their own thing, right? So unless you start doing like the kind of outdated monster manual, genie, right? Like there are some monsters that are not generic, but I think generic enough where they feel more D&D than someone else's, than a specific culture, right? But if you start doing some kind of like the ridiculous like Marco Polo 5e kind of thing, right, where we're like, we're gonna go down the Silk Road, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, right? Once you start doing stuff like that, then no, you're not all culture. So I don't know.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing to attempt, and it's a weird thing. I mean, there are some developments. I think like advantage. I think like that the idea of advantage and disadvantage for roles, which has been now included in other systems, was a good thing that came from 5e, and it's a good thing
they didn't do it first.
Yeah, but it's been very standardized. No. Yeah,
it has been standard.
Well, so people really think about that as a kind of a default feature. So there are some things that you can some reasons, but 5e does make you insanely powerful for a first level, second level.
I'm not even really worried about that. Like, I know why they chose. I'm going to have to go read this to see how close to 5e it is, or other D20 games, right? I know why they started with 5e, because it's just an 800-pound gorilla in the room, and everyone knows it, and it was probably the best way to make things compatible with other D20 games, right?
And it rhymes with free.
It rhymes with free. Ish, right? It kills me that a game as mechanically complex as Dungeons and Dragons is still seen as the gateway point to the hobby, right? Where it, like, everyone has heard anecdotes about people playing other games and be like, oh, right, it's like this, like we could just play like this, we build a character like this, we don't have to do all this like other stuff with other, so I don't know. Yeah. Like if they were going for like an on-ramp, okay, I guess you've got these warring things between like actually being newcomer friendly,
right,
for both players and people running it, and visibility. So,
yeah, and it's kind of one of those. So this makes the kind of vague nods and things that WotC is doing towards, inclusion and changing, going for species and things. It makes it look so corporate and half-assed when
it does. Well, it is. It was right. You're telling me it wasn't corporate and half-assed.
But you're gonna have somebody just step in and say, no, this is what you would have had to do if those were your actual intentions. This is the system you would have made. Yeah. That's the funny thing about it is it's just like, of course this is going to happen. If you're just going to vaguely suggest, 5e should probably be a little more open. Okay, this is
how you do
here
it.
It is. Yeah. So take a look. You can get that the manuscript for free, and of course suggest what they're looking for the feedback. So take a look at that system.
Do something other than 5e.
And say, just don't do 5e. But so we'll see. We'll see if we hear about this again. We'll see if this actually catches on, and people start publishing with it and everything, because that would be amazing for something to start. And
especially if they start doing zines where people can photocopy at home, because that's about what we're going back to.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're going to be at that point soon. And finally, something we talked about, an evolved edition, one could say, a game that didn't really need fixing, but they figured, why not? So yes, the Alien RPG from Free League Publishing is getting an evolved edition, and they're also releasing another cinematic adventure, Rapture Protocol,
which is based on Romulus, right?
Oh yeah, maybe that's what they're saying, that what they're including. So maybe the derelict space station or something again, or some research facility. The Year Zero engine. This project is going to give you a core rule book, a starter set, and the adventure, the Rapture Protocol box set, as well as some other things that get a little pricey. So the most popular pledge that people might want to go for, that really kind of turned me off, so if I do this, I'm gonna have to do it piecemeal, is for $165 you'll get the core rule book with the revised one, the revised starter set, and this box, and a box of miniatures for only for Raptor Protocol. So they're not going to be that generic. They're going to be the pre-gen characters for the Cinematic Adventure Raptor Protocol. And I'm sure they'll follow up with more miniatures, but miniatures, yeah, that seems
well. I think we have the same feeling here.
Mm-hmm.
And the way combat in Alien RPG works, it's zones, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you're not counting squares, you're not measuring distances.
Yeah.
I mean, stealth mode is a bit like that old like Space Hulk game where you just have like markers kind of on the board, right? When you don't exactly know what stuff is. So
yeah, there's movement.
My charitable feeling here is that like the figures could just be basically tokens.
Yeah,
right, to show
which is what they really
are, right?
Yeah.
So, but you also don't need them.
Yeah, right. And I have hundreds of alien themes.
But are they 20th Century Fox aliens? No, sir, they are not. Right?
Yeah, so it's like I don't really need, and there are already a couple of different franchises for the miniatures board games, like with aliens. So there's a board game for the setting of the first movie, the Alien movie, and then there's a colonial marine setting that's added a lot of expansions. I forget who's doing that, but there is a ton of miniatures already out there.
But are they official?
For Alien? Yeah, these are officially licensed. Yeah, these are all Fox officially licensed. Yeah, so these are all official Alien miniatures board games and war games. So yeah, I don't know. It makes sense that they would just focus on the adventure they're releasing.
Yep.
So you could have the guys you'd like, and so of course. Alien does a good job. It has cinematic adventures, which are basically
movies.
Movies. Everyone's gonna die. This is very brutal. So it feels like the Alien setting, but there's also a campaign mode, and so maybe that's another thing they're trying to clarify is what would make an interesting campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So what is revised in this evolved edition? So improved rules for their stealth mode, their panic rolls, ammo, armor, grenades, zero gravity play, and also then the inclusion of Alien Romulus, because any technology, anything they made nods to, or even in the setting, like who's doing what, will now be included in the timeline. And that's an interesting thing, because you would think a franchise like Alien that's had such disparate sequels and it's gone weird places, and now we're going to get a streaming series on Earth.
Okay.
Yes. So. And there's also been a lot of Dark Horse comics about this. And this RPG has done a nice job of kind of unifying that. You can include things from all of these, different media that have been, that kind of are part of the IP, but you might not like it or you might not want to, because, from Prometheus to, Alien versus Predator kind of mythos that's gotten in there. It's all possible. So that's pretty impressive, because it seems like quite a mess and quite a thing to sort out. So do you think they did this revision because maybe Fox offered them the license to you can include Romulus if you re-release it and you pay us again?
It also has been, 5? No, I forget how long it's been since the core book came out. Right?
Yeah, I think it's been about 5 years. Yeah, it's close to that. Maybe 2019.
I mean, it's not 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's as popular, just people playing it, right? Stuff's going to come up, right? Best practices are going to develop, and it makes sense for a publisher to go, oh, you know what? This does kind of make more sense. Or people are forgetting that, my point is 5 years seems like a reasonable amount of time to do a cleanup, right? Or a revise, right?
Right.
That's fine. And, I mean, it is a licensed game, so like you said, maybe Fox said, okay, we'll give you Romulus if you put it to Kickstarter and do another version of it, right?
Or they'd have to do that just to cover the license.
Or that, right? Yeah. So
but one of the tempting things about this is the layouts are going to be done by Johan Nohr of Morkborg fame.
They are readable, sir.
They look really clean. And the interesting thing about them is they're going to be on not totally sheer white, but kind of an off-white, so kind of like the manuals,
which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, but the manuals that they do, they would have in the first Alien movie, kind of a shitty brown manual. That's kind of what these things look like if you were flipping through a board that.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a retro sci-fi game put on like that punch paper stuff. Remember the one that had like the things that your printer could roll it up, right? Anyway,
the dot matrix.
Yeah, the dot matrix.
Yes.
Yeah. Right? Anyway, no, I liked the black. I liked the black. Right? It left fingerprints like a nobody's business.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. Yeah, and so I think Star Trek had that same thing when they did their next edition. They said, okay, we're not going to do the wacky layouts now. We're going to make it. So maybe we're not seeing the full the full talent of Noor in this edition, but it looks very readable. You can see a little bit of that on the design for the graphics for the Kickstarter page.
Yeah, that readability and usability is important. The product is meant to be used. Yes. Looking at you, more porg.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway.
So they're doing a limited edition cover again for the rule book. The one thing that made me pause again is, this isn't that old, and I'm glad I didn't buy either of these in physical form, because the Colonial Marines Operation Manual and Building Better Worlds are getting revisions as well.
Damn it. I think I got a physical copy.
Yes, so that's a little bit frustrating. And to get everything that's offered for this Kickstarter, you're looking at about $500. So that's a lot. But yeah, so the starter set, the Rapture Protocol, a standard core book, miniature set, the cinematic bundle, the collector's rule book, and then they go up to so the engineer bundle, I guess, engineer, is is where you're getting everything they're producing, which is extra base dice, extra stress dice. Oh, the lapel pin set. You get an honorable mention in the book, and then the two revised for the Colonial Marines and Colonist books. So that was a little frustrating, and that's a lot of stuff to buy piecemeal. And
maybe the books, one e-books will be a bit cheaper. Because I'll snap those up.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Is that the physical books for that previous edition? Yeah, because those are nice looking books, and it's going to be. They're going to add Romulus to it, but the setting, all the setting stuff and everything will remain the same. There may be some stat tweaks you may need to make, but that's about it. But so I'll put a link to that. It's a great game. If you haven't played it, and if they have improved it, then this might be a great chance to jump on it. It's a little bit strange though to say it's a starter set, because I think it's just the first cinematic adventure. It's just Cradle of what?
Oh, Charity of the Gods.
Charity of the Gods.
Which is a good one. It's a good one, right?
But it's that's not a starting adventure. That's a rough. I mean, these cinematic adventures are not baby's first space.
Are we talking like themes and setting, or like mechanics?
I think mechanics, dealing with oh my god, this stress. These stress dice are painful. Things that are happening to my character are pretty insane. You do have the expectations from the Alien movies that this is going to be rough, but a cinematic adventure is a rough way to start.
What are you supposed to do? Just go to the local pizza joint and have a beer or something? Right? That's not Alien, right? I don't know. I was trying to think of something soft and cuddly or whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I was just unboxing the Fallout starter set. And that's only pre-gens, and they do start you out with just unraveling a mystery, and it's deadly like the Fallout games are, but it's not mind-blowing where you're like, holy crap, everybody's dead. A starter set, your first adventure where it's total party kill is crazy.
But it's a cinematic scenario, right? Like we said, this is basically a it is a movie, right? It's an Aliens movie, and you don't go to an Aliens movie to watch people survive, right? You're just you know what? Didn't see one xenomorph. Everyone's alive.
Got a job to do. I'm gonna
what the heck was
start
this movie,
colonizing, right?
Yeah.
No, that's true. It's just it is. It's interesting that if you have the expectations of a starter set where, let's fight some rats and goblins and get into it. This is not it.
Yeah, try that and see what happens at Chariot of the Gods, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm gonna have to go some. But I've run Chariot of the God three? I want to say 3 times for groups of varying levels of RPG understandingness, right? And not once in one of those games did everyone go, right? Because I made this is Aliens, right? You know exactly what's going to happen. Right. And even if the mechanics were a bit what do I do with it? And it's this, the things that were happening like in the game, it was like right, people were, once you set them up to know that it's like an alien game, like no one said like I wasn't expecting this, right? It was like no, anyway.
Yeah, it's just, you know, knowing that all those pre-gens are going to die is but it's something that you know, starter sets don't normally do. So I think that's funny that it's not its own thing, you know. There's so
what would it be? I'm still wondering what a non-lethal alien cinematic star.
If you had to deal with you know, some sort of you know, infestation and you didn't know what it was, and you're basically escaping at the end. So there was mystery. It's setting up like what you can do, how you can defend yourself. There really isn't a good starting adventure for this because and I think that's the problem that the campaign mode has a little bit of, is like how many sessions are we going to do without xenomorphs?
That is like a whole nother topic. And that's why I think like the strength of the Alien RPG is the cinematic scenarios. And I honestly think that's what they should focus on, because, okay, sure, you can do a campaign and then it becomes all on the group to come up with your own story and do it. But like you said, how many sessions has it been since we've seen this anymore? Right? Or like, we're all going to get through this, right? Because we got to play next session, right? Right? Like, that is, right? So that's why I think like just, hey, Freely, just keep putting out more cinematic scenarios, because it doesn't matter, right? Like, you're playing a movie.
And that's the thing, is then if you were just making up your own campaign, you wouldn't have to ever buy anything from them again. But if they do really good cinematic adventures, you'll keep coming back and wanting to play the next part or the next piece.
And like I said, like, even if you've played it, like, okay, it is a bit like a movie where you're going to possibly spoil things, right, when you've played it. But I mean, you run it again with a different group, right? Or even or you play a different character, or like, it's not exactly the same, right? But you're like, I wonder what happens if we do this time, right? Or it almost becomes like, can we make it to the end, right?
Yes. Like an escape room.
Anyway.
Yes. All right, so that is going to do it for this week. So where can people find you?
Blue Sky and Instagram a little bit. That's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, where I'm mostly retweeting political crap. But I did find something. There is a October 2025. There's going to be a second edition of Dragon Rampant, which is the Daniel Mercy's Lion Rampant, Xenos Rampant, now Dragon Rampant, the fantasy one. There's a second edition. I'm very excited for that. I've already pre-ordered it.
Oh, nice. So looking forward to a tiny Dragon Rampant second edition? Okay.
2 millimeters, so I can just reuse the historical stuff I've got. Anyway.
Nice. Excellent.
So how about you?
I don't know how this is going. So Abuse Cartoons, I draw a single panel gag cartoon that is published on Go Comics. They recently did a whole revision of their website. Okay. The resolution of my cartoons looks like crap.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to have to go back and recreate 2,000 cartoons so they look better on the website. But that is gocomics.com/domestic abuse. It's a beautiful new website. All the comments are gone. I hope they're going to re-import that. So all my comments are gone. All the followers are still there, but the comments are gone. There's a link to that in the description. And I draw that once a month. I'll do a live stream where I draw those cartoons, and maybe I'll do a long resizing session where you see me like go through, create some sort of Photoshop action, and like try to automate this thing because it's going to be a mess. But yes, and but if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
Yes, on patreon.com/upturned table. There you can get exclusive content and get stuff early. I just released the unboxing for the Fallout starter set, and it gives you a good taste of what how they, with 2D20, how they did Fallout. And I think
Cakewalk where everyone survives.
Yes, they really successfully, as you know, janky and deadly and hoardy that Fallout is, they recreated that well. So take a look at that if you're a member or a patron, and if you're not, we may release it eventually, and also keep an eye out. Tomorrow we're going to continue. We're going to be shuffling players a little bit, but we'll be doing another Fallout adventure for our actual play. And so that's Upturned Table on all social media. Subscribe to this channel if you want to get notified when we go live for the actual play or for the recording of the weekly. And so the weekly is now, it's an RSS feed on Google. So an audio and a video version comes out, and then there's a regular RSS feed, and the audio for this entire live stream comes out on the Patreon RSS feed. And I'm figuring out a way to make that work for members of YouTube, which I think I can, but it's going to be a little more manual. So thanks for joining us, and we will be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. Yep, let's get this sorted out here. I thought I had this. Let's move the chat over here. Hey, there we go. Yeah, sorry, this is the new setup after the total collapse of whatever Streamlabs is doing with their flavor of OBS. So how is everybody doing? Yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. So I'll go back to the beginning, see if there's anything that I missed. So there's a Grand Prix. Is that what a Japanese GP is? Matt, yeah, I think we've got good weather. And I don't know if Matt's still with us. Maybe he had to hit the hay. But yeah, good to see everybody. Oh, a surprise game of, yeah, the Skyrealm's Jurun would be cool. But yeah, a bunker system. Well, that's what Cyworld would have been as well. A bunker system. Nice. Yeah, I wonder. Oh, okay. A lot of skill-based stuff. Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, I want to take a look at that. Oh, Broken Empires might do Jarun well. Jarun. Skill to slap hands. Nice. Slap hands skill. Oh yeah, I added. So please, if anybody is considering giving us $1 to become a member, if we have 2 more members on YouTube, we can add 7 more emojis. So if you've even thought for a moment, I guess if we get our member count up to 10, they unlock more emojis. But I added the Vault Boy in there because we're doing Fallout. But so if you're tempted, throw us that buck and we'll have some more emojis for the chat to play with. That was not good. Oh, they will, yeah. Oh, that's right. They're trying to sell. That's right. They were trying to sell some of the IPs that they had and the buyer backed out. That's what I was thinking of. Thanks, Matt. Yes, so come on. That's going to be sad if they go away because, they were early days of... is my mini cool or not? So they made a company out of that. I guess if Daka 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 becomes its own company as well. Carolina saying Val Kilmer passed. That sucks. Oh yeah, Real Genius. Yeah, that's a good Val Kilmer movie. I want to see it showed up briefly in Japan on Amazon, but the documentary that they made of all of his behind the scenes footage. So I guess he always had like a little Sony camcorder or something on the set with him, and so he has all of this digital video footage from the Willow days. I don't know if it's like Top Gun, but when he became more successful and probably people tolerated him having a camera, and they did a big edit of his whole career. I think it's just called Val. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but that would be a fun thing to watch now just to kind of remember how much he did. Real Genius is awesome. Oh, Matt's saying Real Genius is special to me because I was a kid when it came out, but for pure chewing the scenery. Oh yeah, his Doc Holliday is definitely a great role too. I'm not sure about, I don't know if I want to go back and enjoy his Jim Morrison again, though. I think he actually thought he was Jim Morrison for a time. And Forever, Batman Forever, a bad, good movie. And Robin is a good, bad movie. Nice. Yes. So WotC and Come On are definitely battling for bad press this week. Oh, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, yeah. Yes. What's that? I'm a sucker for what is that? Red Planet. When those competing Mars movies were out, I like the cast in Red Planet that he was the space janitor in. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, how is everybody doing? Because we're past the D day, right? The T day for tariffs. Has anybody noticed anything? I was seeing a lot of people that were ordering those emulator handhelds from like Alibaba and a lot of the Chinese sites. A lot of them said that they had their stuff held up in customs until this was resolved, like how much it was going to be charged. So there's a huge delay on recent purchases that were coming from China. So, and I imagine that's going to affect like 3D printing and a lot of things. A lot of that stuff originating in China. We will see. Oh, the Saint and Sultancy. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Yes, Jim Morrison was awesome. Yeah. That's true. All right. Yeah. They need, Texas. Yeah, they need to split D&D into basic and advanced again. Wow. Yeah, so The tariff situation is going to greatly impact our hobby, so it's relevant. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's right. Matt's allowing tariff talk. That's right. Watch out. He wields a hey, Abyss. Thank you. Thank you for gifting a membership. You're a beautiful. You want those emojis? I know it. I know. Very good. Hey. Oh, Arturo, the robot bartender, is a member now. Very cool. We'll check out the unboxing for Fallout. Yeah, so an hour of kind of going through everything and talking about if that's a good place to start. And I even, like what Chris and I were talking about, I even kind of questioned, like, do you really need starter sets for things like Blade Runner and Alien, some of the Free League games? You're just kind of thrown right into those. You can't really, like, there's no warm up, there's no like play as you go. It's just you gotta get up to speed fast. So calling something a starter set, I think for Alien, is a little bit strange, because a cinematic starter set, I guess. And I don't think Chariot of the Gods is even the easiest thing to start with, because you're dealing with a lot of blood and guts, like, right away. And with the agendas and stuff, some pretty rough decisions. If you haven't played a role-playing game and you're going to start with Alien Cinematic Adventure Chariot of the Gods in their starter set, and I think that's what it is. And that's also made it a little bit confusing, because without things being like, what is that trilogy? I wonder if they're going to reprint the 3 cinematic adventures as like one thing, so you separate it. Because I also have the Hope's Last Day, the Hadley's Hope adventure, which is a cinematic adventure prequel to the nightmare infestation on Hadley's Hope, and so I don't think that's the one in the starter box, but that one's not as rough as Chariot of the Gods. Yes. Yeah, so even the machines to make games are made in China. Yeah, it's a interesting situation. According to the Miguel saying, according to his BattleTech buddies, there's barely any know-how left in the U.S. Yes, especially when it comes to giant robots. Yeah, it is weird to see, and I wonder, what this is going to do, the effects that this is going to have on Japan. Hasbro and Co. move production of toys. Yeah, that's right. And that's what, that was that ridiculous observation that Chris Cox made, the Hasbro CEO, of, wow, I saw a bunch of knockoff toys in China and realized we should be doing that if we want to get into these markets. Make things worse. That's exactly what you need to do. You need to flood poor countries with cheap garbage plastic with your IPs, on them. Matt says I have 3 completed but not fulfilled Kickstarters back. I'm getting nervous. Yeah, I'm feeling that same way. I think I have only one more big plastic one coming. Look out, that's good. Something that's going to be a lot of plastic, and I don't think it's anywhere near fulfillment yet. But everything else is books, but it could be books that have to get hit by tariffs. But I've been complaining about that on unboxings for a while. I think Japan has been doing that for tabletop stuff for a while, because for the past couple of years I've been getting hit really hard with like 20% tariffs on stuff coming in. So Japan's been doing that all by their lonesome. And there's they're talking about so there's a rice shortage, or at least a ridiculous rice prices for domestic Japanese rice. They don't want to import American rice or get used to that, so there's a 700% tariff on imported American rice. But it's getting to the point where paying that 700% is still cheaper than the domestic current rice prices. So some of the like the rice bowl, like beef bowl stores, the chain restaurants and stuff, are like maybe mixing in a little of American rice, trying to get a little bit of a break there, because you won't notice it when it's all sopping with juice and everything from your gyudon and the cheese and whatever you're putting on it. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't think I've got any big. There's just one big one that I know of that might be bad. Depending on how they're going to do it. But I'm like I said, I'm still been getting hit hard with Japanese stuff, and I'm not going to, forward anything from the U.S. anytime soon. I think that would be bad. Oh, Clarion says you should send your Alien playlist to Free League. Oh yeah, that would be cool. We should. That was good stuff. Yeah, we've had people commenting on those a lot more recently. So maybe those are getting some play with maybe someone linked to them, or people are searching Alien APs more with this new edition out, because we've been getting more comments on the alien stuff. Oh yeah, Valerian purchased the D&D IP. Oh, Abyss, we can dream. I don't think I think Hasbro's gonna have their claws in Magic and D&D forever now. We're never gonna get a decent version of any of that stuff ever again. Or license it out. Yeah, that would be maybe if they get tired of just trying to stay out of their own way, they'll just hand it off to somebody that's got a better reputation, and then just that might be a better way to go. Then they can just move to Boston completely and kick everybody out of the Wizards offices in Seattle or Portland or wherever they are. Oh, interesting. Yeah, Miguel saying Archon was sending out tendrils maybe to tempt Catalyst into starting an EU BattleTech run from Poland. Yeah, Poland has been, especially for the kind of, Ameritrash kind of board games and stuff. There's a lot of miniature stuff and a lot of the good Patreons for, close to, not quite grimdark miniatures. A lot of those artisan studios are from Poland. The Ford Pinto joke from Top Secret. Oh, sorry, Top Secret. Was that the airplane guys? The guys that did the airplane movies? Yeah. Oh yeah, did you see? Is it? I didn't think this was a thing. I didn't think this was real. But did you guys see this is totally not tabletop related, but the Top Secret made me think of it. Police Squad. Liam Neeson is going to take over, I guess, as the son of the what's his face character, the Drebin. Yeah. So Liam Neeson might do a comedy, like a police comedy, like Police Squad, remake or reboot or whatever. But I guess it's supposed to be all the sons, and there's an OJ joke in the trailer. Yeah, it was pretty interesting, especially if it's the same people involved. And if they do bring back comedies, that would be insane. If they start making profitable comedies again, that's crazy, because there hasn't been good comedy movies for a while. Wow, so sorry, I'm catching up here. Let's see. Oh, cool. Talking more org. Really enjoy the Aliens games, and Knowing You Will Die is kind of fun. Yeah, it does change how you play, and especially with the agendas. Like, what would be a fun way, or how would this character deal with this? And especially with the hidden, the secret android and stuff. That created some fun tension. Oh, yeah. I feel, Abyss, I feel your pain. Nobody wants to hear my Japanese. They want my English. Yes. Yeah. Cool. You Abyss is a dirty immigrant taking Swedish jobs from Swedish citizens. Yes. Yeah, that's funny. Cool. Yeah, it should be good weather, Matt. So your race is in luck. Discord access, it's automated only for the patrons. I have to kind of manually do it. It's in there for YouTube members, but for some reason the role, so on the Discord server, if you're a YouTube member, it doesn't knock you. So message me with your Discord name, and I'll go through, because if your Discord name is different from what you are on YouTube, and I'll give you the access link. I don't want to have the Discord totally open. It may turn into hell or be like need to be heavily moderated. But yeah, for some reason the automation isn't working. There is a YouTube member role that is linked to the YouTube account, but I think YouTube did something stupid where they changed how that works. Because anything that, when I went back to research what was wrong with it, why it wasn't working, they have outdated versions. So however their API or whatever is set up, they've changed it, and there's a lot of outdated tutorials and stuff out there. Mad Mardigan, yes, is a great, and he actually had messed up teeth. That was a great part of that character, is when they found him in the cage, he had the fucked up teeth, and then they, in the story, they showed him cleaning his teeth so then he could have his Hollywood teeth back. But when they first found him, he was a wreck. Finally get some dirty fantasy teeth. Yes, Miguel, you will get banned if you mention Snow White. That's Matt's favorite movie right now. Nice. Oh, did well, I'm a member as well. That should give us the emojis. Sorry, Abyss, I didn't see my name pop up. Yeah, my membership just expired, so thanks for renewing it, Miguel. Or Abyss, sorry. Let me check here. If I can... that's not it. Let me see if that's it. Yeah, sorry about that. I am my own dedicated follower. You just never realized how vain I was, how I'd always want to emojis. Oh, there we go. Yep, you unlocked it. Thank you, Miguel. You unlocked Miguel. Thank you, Abyss. Thank you, Abyss. You unlocked the 8 more emojis. Nice. Or 8. Oh, the 7th emoji. Okay, that's what it is. The 7th emoji. Okay, there we go. So I'll add something else. So Abyss, because you have because of your kindness, please let me know what you'd like to see for the chat. If yeah, what would be the next besides the dead Vault Boy head? What would be a good next emoji? Thank you so much, Abyss. You're very generous. Your support is super appreciated. I've just been reading too many Miguel comments. I can't switch. Yeah, Miguel we can never become a member. He's always avoiding it. Yeah, and it's a very fixed. Now we're talking Snow White. Oh yeah, the Liam Neeson doing Police Squad. Yeah, he could probably do it. Yeah, it does seem like he's gonna, just like Leslie Nielsen. That's right, I couldn't think of his name. Just like Leslie Nielsen, like he was a dramatic actor, and then he plays that role very straight. So that's what makes it funny. I think they're doing that with Liam Neeson and taking advantage of his history of like Taken movies and stuff. To they'll probably do like really ridiculous fight scenes and stuff, but he's going to be the straight man in that. But yeah, so let me know if anybody wants to any members, anybody in the chat, yeah, if you're a patron, it's automatic. Whether you like it or not, you show up on the server. But yeah, there's something strange about how YouTube and it needs to be matching or something. Like it needs to be the same name, or you need to have linked your Discord to that specific YouTube account. And if you haven't done that, then it doesn't automatically give you access. Turning on your phone, tired with no glasses is hard. Oh, Matt. Well, thanks for hanging in there, Matt. If you've got a busy drive tomorrow. Oh no. Uh-oh. Matt, get ready. It's getting Israeli around here. Carolina did it all in caps, so you'd be sure to see it. Okay, sorry about all the confusion there. Oh yeah, I should double check. I got a kid at the airport I'm gonna need to pick up. Somebody finally finished their homestay for the spring break. Oh, sorry. There we go. So it's still buzzing. Okay, sorry. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I'm gonna have to play with this. All right. Well, good. I think I finally got up. No politics. Uh-oh. Matt's got his hammer out. All right. But yeah. So I should. Oh yeah, I'm good. So yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm good until 4 o'clock here. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Anybody watching from Australia, I can't figure that out. So the time difference between where my daughter is in Australia and Japan is an hour. So no jet lag. But it's the opposite season. So we're going into spring, they're going into fall. Completely confusing. It was impossible to figure out like what clothes to bring and how. Yeah, so I had to check the local weather and try to make sense of it. And it was more humid than I thought it would be. So it's crazy. Thanks, Carolina. Yeah, it's not easy, but yeah. Oh, and there was also a I wanted to mention this on the cast as well. There's an Art of Jeff Easley book that looks awesome. So if you're into if you like that early D&D stuff, it's $150, but it's signed. And there's probably an unsigned, a little bit cheaper one, but it's a 200 pages, so 200 plates of his work from AD&D first and second editions, and some inks and pencils, commentary. Yeah, very cool retrospective of his work if you like Easley's stuff. Yeah, so. Yeah, so tomorrow, so Matt is out, but Matt, do you mind if Will plays your Mr. Handy as a companion? Because that might help them be a little more formidable combat-wise. So yeah, if Dodsworth can tag along, I think that'll help, because it would make sense because of the insane charisma roll that Daisy made Dylan's character at the end of the last time. So basically Daisy is stepping up to leadership of the settlement because most of the key figures, the mayor and a lot of people, have lost their minds. So we'll be putting in new NPCs to fill a lot of roles, but Daisy looks like yeah, like the fascist rule of a wastelander is about to take over New Industria. So I think that would make sense that Daisy's out for a session, and then if Will and Terry can run with yes, you need some morality, can run with the run with the Mr. Handy, then yeah, they can be tougher. But nice. Yeah, it looks like a really nice book or a nice project. But, you know, shipping and stuff. Yikes! I hope they did say though that they're printing it in the U.S. So for North American backers, I think it'll be affordable and well made and everything. Oh yeah, I looked at that. The collected first 3 Dragonlance novels that WotC just released are garbage. They're saying it's like foil. It's like a foil stamped cover, and it's like some, trying to make it like it's, as a celebration of Dragonlance, and probably for, people that want to read the new novels that didn't read the originals. They released a hardcover with the same sort of treatment that they did for some of their, art and arcana and some of the fancier stuff that they did, but it's not. It's just UV. It's spot varnished UV on yellow of just like yellow lettering, so it's not even like gold foil. And there were so many examples of the shit binding on Amazon. People are putting photos, in the review section. It looks completely shoddily produced. It's such a insult. And there's already been like omnibuses of those first 3 novels in paperback released previously, so you can already get those books probably in a better form. But it looks really, really cheap. So people were holding the book up, and the pages are obviously wet because they're weaving, and the covers are bent out. It's like a completely half-assed job of printing those books. That was really depressing. Hey Arturo, how's it going? Nice. Oh, playing 40K Rogue Trader. Nice. Oh yeah, that's right. It that showed up on Game Pass, on the Xbox Game Pass. Very cool. Yeah, that's a fun game if you like turn-based, kind of XCOM style combat and that setting. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm going back. I started it again on my Xbox New Vegas, and I'm just playing through to kind of get get locales and stuff in my head. Oh, and the funny thing that I didn't realize, so there's references to Diamond City. I guess I kind of just dropped Fallout 4E 4E4. I need some lunch. Fallout 4 at a certain point, because I never got to Diamond City. So when that came up in our last adventure, it didn't ring a bell. But Diamond City in the Commonwealth setting is Fenway Park. That's at the Diamond. It's a baseball stadium. And that's where the rich, like, I guess they live in. They are in the skyboxes, the loge seating or whatever. The residences of the wealthy in the Commonwealth are there. But yeah, we'll have to come up with our own, like, Black Diamond or some setting that works, some original settlement that works, that some of the scumbags can be from in our setting. Yeah, very cool. All right, but yeah, so tomorrow Fallout, and we'll continue. So yeah, without Dylan and Matt, we probably won't do any settlement stuff, and I guess we won't do XP. That's gonna be weird, yeah, because so we'll talk about this on the stream, and I'll get some feedback from Matt in text. But I'm thinking, like, no XP, even if you were there as an NPC or a companion, no XP for any player that wasn't present at the session. I want you guys to, like, advance as much as possible, but I was thinking that might be a good way to, incentivize making the time for the sessions. But you're trying to stick to that, because it's pretty free. The adventures are pretty free with XP, but yeah, it's not going to level fast. But I think that might be a good way to go, is just to Barstow. Nice. Yeah, we should just make it Barstow. Nice. But yeah, so Fallout tomorrow, and they'll stumble into some more factions that they may be aligned or against. And it's good. I like that Dylan wanted the NCR kind of active, so the new California Republic active in that area, because yeah, that'll work well. So yeah, so stay tuned for some Fallout, and yeah, we will be back again soon. So next week with the weekly, and tomorrow with some actual play. And yeah, check out that unboxing, especially Arturo, because you just got a membership on the membership side of YouTube and Patreon. And yeah, thanks for all your support, and thanks for hanging out in the chat. It's nice to have a nice busy chat. Sorry it takes me so long to catch up. We'll figure out a way to make that. Maybe when Matt's not busy, I'll have Matt pop in for the second half, and we'll do so it won't just be me rambling. It'll be me and a co-host rambling. But yeah, everybody take care and safe travels, Matt, and see you again next week. Goodbye.